I'm back. It's been a good couple of years, but I'm back, and I'm terrified about what I've got to finish up on the car, to be honest. When I left it, I had, I think I've probably shown you guys that I changed the piston that was broken or melted. I haven't published the episode yet, but I've done all of the bearings and I put the bottom end back together, and I got that all wrapped up. And then I took myself a little bit of a break from YouTube and from social media and all that sort of stuff, and just had to have a bit of a reset in life. But we've got to get the car back together. I want to get it running. I want to get it finished. I've probably created more work for myself because it's been sitting on the driveway for a good couple of years now. So I've probably created more work for myself to get stuff cleaned up and replaced that probably didn't need to be replaced, but we'll get to that. We'll get through it, and we'll get this car bloody finished, won't we? And when it is finished, I'm going to find a nice car meet to come along to, and if there's anyone in the UK, maybe meet up with some of you. That'd be nice. But yeah, we're back at it. So I'm going to get changed. I haven't got the right gear on. I've got a nice clean t-shirt, so I've got to get my dirty gear on, find the stuff in the garage, if I can remember where I put it. First thing I've got to do is get the subframe back on, get all of the suspension reconnected, get the steering on, get the anti-roll bar and everything, get the wheels on, and then get the car down, back on the ground, and then we can have a look at what's left to do under the bonnet. I daren't open the bonnet. I think it's just going to be full of spiders' nests. If there's a rat's nest in there, we're done for, because it's eaten all the wiring, hasn't it? So we'll see. But I'm going to go get changed, and we're going to get back to it. Thank you very much for coming back. Sorry I've been away for so long. So I should probably explain why. I don't think I have to explain, actually. But I think I'd like to explain why I've been away for so long. It's not, I don't know where to start, to be honest. And it's quite weird doing this to camera. So if you don't want to listen to this, if you just want to jump to the car stuff, just hit fast forward. So I'll put the time code at the top so you can just jump through to the next bit. If you're interested in my life struggles, stick around. I completely understand if you don't care, you just want to see the car finished. So after I got the bottom end sort of sorted out, I was starting to get myself into a bit of a bad space. I bought the car through COVID, and when life started going back to normal after COVID, everyone was working from home. I used to work in London, and I'd be in London 5 days a week. So you leave home at 7 o'clock in the morning, you get home at 7 o'clock at night, and you'd be sitting in an office surrounded by people that you work with every day. You'd go for lunch, you'd go for socials in the evenings and stuff like that, and it was like life. It was nice. I miss the kids because sometimes when they were young, you'd come home and you wouldn't see them, and there'd be a lot of burden on my wife. But being at home changed that dynamic. It was lovely. I could see the family, and I could help out. But what that took away from me was the not the escapism, but the social side of things and the interaction with people that, although they stressed you out to some degree, was actually good for you because you weren't just sitting there in your own mind the whole time. So working from home, and government legislation changed, so my tax situation got horrible, and I was paying a lot more tax than I was before, so things were getting not tight, but they were, it was frustrating, and I started to notice that I was sort of disappearing inside myself. I was consuming myself with work. I was one person when I was working in my office during the day, and then as soon as that work finished, almost like you're playing a character at work, and you finish work, and then like that scene ends, and the character isn't there anymore. So I'd come out of the office with all the stresses of the days, and not wanting to really go back to work the next day, and I'd be grumpy and miserable because it'd be straight out of that into home life, which with young kids can be challenging at times. And I just started getting myself in a bit of a situation where I wasn't mentally healthy, and I wasn't the best husband to my wife. I wasn't the best father to my children. There was lots of frustrations. I couldn't understand my kids sometimes, and those frustrations sort of boiled over to the point where the only way I could deal with them was so I I started to get myself in this hole, and there was one particular day where everything just completely bubbled over, and I lost it. I couldn't control my temper. I couldn't control my rage, and I kind of exploded in front of my family. And my wife, love her to pieces. She basically told me that was enough. I needed to get help. And everything else takes a backseat then. It's you have to focus on yourself. There's a lot that you can tell yourself. There's a lot that you can think that you're okay, and you can fool yourself. But when, and I really didn't recognise I was as bad as I was, but when someone you love sort of really steps in and really points out, I was a mess. It doesn't feel good thinking about it. I was a mess, and anyway, so my wife said I needed to get some help, and we sort of just stopped everything, carried on with work because you have to, but you just put on that front for work, because if it didn't work, then the bills didn't get paid, which probably didn't help. I'm not full time. I couldn't take sick leave like people do. I couldn't take advantage of the system and get signed off or anything like that. I was literally, if I don't work, I don't get paid, and if I don't get paid, neither does a mortgage. And the stress of that was probably more than I could cope with at the time. So I registered. I called the doctors, and then we ended up self-referring onto this behavioural therapy course. And I run a course of that for 3 or 4 months, and it taught me some useful things, but ultimately it didn't really give me the answers that I was looking for, which I found quite disappointing, to be honest. It's great that you can understand why other people behave the way they are, or understand your thought processes around why they're irrational, and give yourself some tools to actually be able to get yourself out of that situation. What I couldn't understand was why I kept going back to that default behaviour, and what that was. And it's almost, it feels a little bit like I understand addiction better now. I understand when people can't give up things, because like once you open that box, it's open. There's no putting the lid back on. All you can do is sort of, I feel like a bloody alcoholic living one day at a time. You just try and be happy and fight off those demons that are fighting in your head, telling you that you're not good enough, or you're shit, or you're all of that crap. But anyway, so the cognitive behavioural therapy, whilst it was useful, it didn't really answer my questions. It didn't really work for me. And then my wife found Andy's Men Club, and my life's changed since meeting, walking through that door for the first time. I've been going for about 2.5 years now. So much, every Monday evening, except bank holidays, but I go, and I'm a facilitator now for our local group. I've met people that I would have never have met before. I've got a great set of friends from there, and it gives me my social interaction outside of working from home on a weekly basis. It's very difficult to try and sort of keep the balance, but Andy's Main Club helps me. It's 2 hours of sitting down, having a tea or a coffee and drinking some biscuits with people that are just going through all sorts of different things. We come from all sorts of different walks of life, but there's something about sitting down and in a safe environment where there's no judgment and there's actually supports and understanding, and just be able to get things off your chest and have other people listen, even if they don't provide any response. They just listen without any judgment, or they just see you in a foul mood and they just put your hand on your shoulder and you stay quiet. It's just as powerful. I don't actually know why it works, but it works for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but Andy's Man Club, I'm saying a lot, I haven't done this for a long time. Andy's Main Club, there's loads of groups around the UK. There's probably one on your doorstep. If there's not one on your doorstep, there's probably a little drive away to find it. If you're up the north, you're blessed, there's hundreds of them. If you're down south, they're a bit few far in between, but they're growing. There's probably about 4,500 men every Monday that go to these clubs at the moment, and it's growing and growing and growing. I'm sure by the end of the month or by the end of the year, there'll be way over 5,000 men going to them. They're opening new clubs all the time. It's just a phenomenon that's grown out of some truly sad circumstances. I won't bore you with the details. If you want to Google Andy's Man Club and get the background of it and understand why Luke started it, then go for that. But if you find yourself in a storm, if you find yourself not understanding life, not understanding why you are the way you are, not having any avenue to sort of vent, or if you think that you're going to be taking some permanent decisions, then please don't. Please reach out to someone else. Andy's Main Club's in the UK. I'm sure there's similar organisations in every country around the world, and if there isn't, there should be. And if there isn't one, then start one, because it's bloody powerful. And it truly gives me something, and it's helped me get back on that stable footing. I'm not fixed. None of us are ever fixed. I'm suffering with the condition of being a middle-aged man who doesn't think he's good enough at anything. So I need to go pretty much every Monday to get myself on the straight and narrow. So I've been battling my mental health, and then life just gets in the way, doesn't it? So when you think you're picking yourself up and you want to get back on things, certain other things happen in your life. I had an accident on holiday and nearly didn't come out of the sea, which was quite traumatic, and kind of underplayed that, but that gave me some trauma that I had to work through. And then I had some work to do, so I really wanted to get back on the car last year, and I had some unexpected work on the house pop up that's just completely taken over, and I've kind of put myself in that position where it was like, there's other things to do in life. I want to be doing those. I want to be spending time with the kids while they're young. I don't want to be consuming it all the time with the car. And in truth, I think I was afraid to pick up a spanner again. I'd rather just let it sit there on the driveway and rust. It's not rusting, but it's not looking the best. But I think I'm ready now. I think I'm going to get this finished. Finding time's difficult. Young families are hard. You see that. You probably see it for lots of YouTubers. There'll be a burst of energy, and then if something's taken a long time, that energy level just drops. You've seen it with all sorts of different channels. So I'm really keen to get back to it. If I don't do frequent updates, it's not because I've given up. It's just because I've tried to find a better balance in my life, and I'm trying to keep myself sane. So thanks for listening. Rich's Rides is back on the road, and we're going to get this finished. And there'll probably be some more bloody tears along the way, but yeah. So I don't know if anyone watched this or not. Don't care any. To be honest, it's been quite good to just sit here and talk about it. And now the weather's turned shit. Oh, that's the other thing. So the UK weather is shit, isn't it? You think you're going to sort of get yourself lined up and go and do some work, and then it's bloody freezing or it rains. It's like, I'm doing this on the driveway. It's almost impossible. So I think I might start looking for a unit to put this stuff in, and you know, I wanted to do it on the driveway, but if I can get a small unit and do it myself, just get it tucked away, get it off my driveway. I can't put it in the garage. Garage isn't big enough, it's full of other crap. So if we can get it somewhere else and I've got somewhere else to work, it will actually give me I'm going to work. I'm going to go to work on the car, rather than it's just on the driveway. I've got half an hour. I'll carve out some time and do it that way. Maybe, I don't know. Am I waffling? Anyway, that was about 14 minutes of me waffling on about how nuts I am. Should we do some car stuff? Yeah, should we go and see what's what? See if I can find some bits. I think I said I'll need to get the subframe on. So I want to get the car down on the ground. I probably won't put the exhaust on. Don't know if the exhaust's on or not at the moment. I probably won't put all of the bits on. I think I took the mid pipes out, did I? Well, the exhaust's on and the down tubes are off because the turbos are out. That's it. So I need to get the car down on the grounds, so it's easier to work on, and I can move it around. If I can get it down on the grounds and I can get it mobile, I'll be able to move it to somewhere else quite easily. But we'll see. Hopefully today I'll get it on its wheels. All right, I'm waffling. Let's get changed and get on the driveway, yeah?